economists have observed that the removal of fuel subsidy last year has no doubt led to more revenue generation for government to fund more investments and infrastructural development. However, the ripple effects on prices of goods and services is causing economic hardship for Nigerians. While it is imperative for government to step up strategies and policies to cushion the effects of these, citizens, on the other hand, need to imbibe lifestyle modification to survive. Our focus tonight on Saturday Discourse is coping with economic realities, and we have a development economist in the studio to discuss it. We will meet him shortly after the day's news. I am Abdullah Hajia. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. The Federal Capital Territory, Wike, has expressed his administration's resolve to revamp the education sector. The minister made this resolve when he received the management of the Universal Basic Education Commission in his office. The executive chairman, Dr. Hamid Boboe, who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. Onuzi Yakubu reports.
The high rate of out-of-school children in some parts of the country, strengthening robust partnership as well as other issues of concern, form the thrust of this meeting.
Have this as one of those model schools that we could, have full confidence in to support our children, particularly in the area of smart education. Our old blackboards and chalk will have to give way to the more modern approaches of teaching and learning within our schools. And it's important that we do that, and I'm very glad to see the FCT leading that particular charge.
FCT Minister Wike says his administration is addressing the education challenge in the territory by renovating schools and providing equipment to improve the standard of education. He also reveals that his administration is probing the activities of the FCT UBEB, saying that he is not satisfied with the management of the board's affairs. A development he adds is responsible for the delay in the appointment of a substantive chairman for the board.
The insecurity we are talking about today can never be resolved if we don't bring these children back to school. It cannot be resolved. We are doing everything we can to see how we can reduce this number. I believe you must be doing something. Your campaign should be intensified.
In response to the Commission's land request, the minister gives this clarification.
Now, for us to give land to any agency, you have to have an agreement with the FCT to the land department. We are going to build this from so time to so time. If you cannot, take back your land.
In a related development, the minister also played host to a delegation from a private firm who came to chart a way of strengthening partnership on industrialization in the FCT. It will be recalled that the minister had inspected the quarry site managed by the business firm. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Still with the FCT administration, FCT Minister of State Dr. Maria Mahmoud at the closing ceremony of the Made in Abuja Business and Investment Summit says women are not only vital contributors to national economy, but catalysts for innovation, social change, and sustainable development. Aisha Ubali reports that the minister used the opportunity to call on stakeholders to support women entrepreneurs.
Dr. Maria Mahmoud highlighting some of the barriers encountered by women entrepreneurs despite their potentials, which among others include a lack of access to finance, mentorship, social as well as cultural constraints. The minister tasked the Abuja Investment Company Limited to intensify effort in establishing platforms that will connect entrepreneurs to share experiences and expertise.
We can collectively create an ecosystem that empowers women to achieve their entrepreneurial dreams. In conclusion, let me commit to building an inclusive business environment where women can thrive as entrepreneurs.
The Abuja Investment Company Limited at the end is seeking more collaboration and partnership, which is key to unlocking new opportunities and creating an investment landscape that embraces innovations, nurtures entrepreneurship that delivers lasting impact for communities. The event climaxed with the Minister of State inspecting various exhibition stands. Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
On the day 3 and closing of the Abuja Business and Investment Summit 2024, attention of stakeholders was focused on women empowerment, as investing in women-led enterprises were identified as critical to fueling inclusive growth needed for development. Yours sincerely, who has been monitoring developments of the first ever Abuja Business and Investment Interaction, reports that it was appraised successful.
Dr. Maria Mahmood, highlighting some of the barriers encountered by women entrepreneurs despite their potentials, which, among others, include a lack of access to finance, mentorship, social, as well as cultural constraints.
Well, that report seems not to be ready. Well, moving on. A health group national outcome routine mapping 2021 statistics says 99% of heads of households have knowledge of at least two critical time for hand washing, with only 8% who demonstrate proper hand washing. Remedying this backdrop, the FCT Primary Health Care Board, in collaboration with health partners, have marked the Global Hand Washing Day with mothers of Dulce Makaranta community. Cecilia Julius brings us details.
These mothers and participants, in commemoration of the Global Hand Washing Day, demonstrate to the world the proper hand washing technique, with emphasis on the year's theme, "Why are clean hands still important?" with the answer, which lies in our collective responsibility to safeguard public health, prevent infections, and its spread.
If you take the habit of frequent hand washing, you prevent those infections. Sometimes by just not washing your hand, you scratch your eye, you scratch your nose, you introduce infection. From there, the infection can go into the brain, can cause pneumonia, can cause even every disease can come in.
Simple washing of hands with soap and water for about 20 seconds, it will go a long way. And all you need is just a running water, soap, and you rub your hands rigorously to form lather. You wash the backs of the hands, you wash the palm under your nail bed, you wash your wrist, and you wash in between fingers to ensure you are actively achieving what we call effective hand washing.
Emphasizing the importance of adopting gender-sensitive approaches, coupled with active and collective responsibility to proper hygiene and hand washing at all times, resonated at the meeting.
Most germs are spread from our hands. Our hands carry a lot, so some say that our life lies in our hands. So when you have clean hands, you know that 99.9% of germs have been eradicated, and the percentage or probability of falling sick reduces drastically.
So before you now begin to take whatsoever that has to go into your body, there is need for you to wash your hands. And that is the essence of it.
When you carry your children, you have to wash your hands. This is very important to prevent germs. There are some unforeseen bacteria, the one you cannot see with your physical eyes.
They therefore urged government, businesses, and individuals to renew their commitment to hand hygiene as a vital tool to combat disease and promote public health. In Abuja, Cecilia Julius, NTA News.
Now to the earlier report, we told you about the closing and day 3 of the Abuja Business and Investment Summit. Let's take the report.
with women.
It has been a gamut of shared knowledge, experiences that stimulate business prosperity and investment networking for 3 days. Top on the closing day's discussion was women's development and economic empowerment, as well as impact investing, where dynamic discussants speak on innovative solutions while suggesting ways forward for women to add value to the economy.
So today we've disbursed over 187 billion naira to 357,000 women MSME.
Then encourage women to go into artisanal fishing, have aquaculture, and even give them processing equipment.
What Abuja Investment have done, they've raised the bar and they've defined what an investment platform should look like. They've become like a convergent point for all investors.
The only thing that can
Inspirational talks from successful influential business and career women suffice to aspiring entrepreneurs with useful ideas offered.
I'm very, very happy and I'm thrilled and I'm looking forward to more things like this because we need to help our women. We need to hold their hands. There's a lot of opportunities here that we need to move this country forward.
What we did was create awareness. We brought investors to meet business and business to meet investors. And so there's going to be a lot of collaborations and synergy, growing businesses, expansions in different sites, diversifications. And so we expect the economy of Abuja to be stimulated. We had rapporteurs in the house, so we're going to look at what they've come up with, capturing everything that has been said. Of course, we're going to x-ray them and decide milestones on how we're going to deal with it.
Organizers, participants and stakeholders are optimistic that the gains of the program will leave a lasting footprint in the Abuja business climate, as expectations are high to explore more investment frontiers and opportunities in the foreseeable future. In the end, it was accolade and commendation to the Abuja Investment Company Limited for steering the business summit. With the removal of fuel subsidy, how are Nigerians coping with the inflation and high prices of commodities? Business correspondent Serafina Okonomekwe tells us more.
Before, I would normally take a job. But to take a job to say now, I'll need 2,000 naira. So I am taking a walk. I'm going to take a loan.
Well, economic meltdown has inculcated in Nigerians a sense of financial discipline in the recent times.
I am a retiree. I don't have the luxury of taking a Uber or job any longer.
We are surviving. We know that the government is trying their best. I know that.
Developmental analysts offer explanation to the new trends while urging swift government and private sector interventions. Although economic analysts encourage Nigerians to have multiple streams of income, they are also advising everyone to cut down on expenses and embrace frugality.
Cash itself is not being disseminated, it's not being given out the way it was from banks and other financial institutions. That's more like a limit to cash. They might have their reasons for this. You have to find a way right now in Nigeria to survive.
Meanwhile, global trade has been projected to pick up by 2.3% in 2024 after lagging behind in 2023. In Abuja, Deborah Gazaji, Micah, NTA News.
Much for that report, and with that, I think we are set to discuss more on the issue at hand. And I have the honor of having Dr. Emeka Okengo. I think he's a non-face in some of our programs. We're happy to have a development economist on Saturday Discuss tonight. Okay, this is one issue that the reality check is that it has come to stay, and Nigerians are coping with it. What are some of the things we need to do as Nigerians, as human beings, to be able to navigate through this policies and adjustment that we need to do?
Okay, I think the question is a little bit loaded, so let's try to unpack it. Because when you're talking about Nigerians, you're talking about the citizens, you're talking about government.
Yes.
So what we need to do, we need to be able to say, what does government do and what can the citizen do, so that we can build that relationship.
Sure.
First and foremost, the removal of subsidy is a welcome development in every ramification. If you first consider that fuel is not even a major ingredient in our productive, ecosystem. We had removed a subsidy on diesel over 10 years ago, and our productive systems were still running. But fuel became some, support system that allowed us a little bit of luxury and a little bit of comfort. We could be able to afford, to drive our cars and get to our destinations. Now, what this has shown is actually the gaps in our transport infrastructure. Okay, if we had good public transport infrastructure, maybe you wouldn't have any need to be going to queue to get fuel, right? What you'll be doing is being able to now look forward to being able to get from destination point 1 to point 2 using your public infrastructure. Now, this is where I think that government, needs to address properly. 2, you now come to the side of the citizenry. And then in removing subsidy, has it really made fuel very expensive, okay, against international living wages? Now you find out that there are also countries that have been argued that have higher, costs of fuel, but yet the citizens are not complaining. Now, so the complaint is not about, for me, the increase in the cost of fuel. It is the, disposable capital available to those who can buy it. I mean, if you were on a salary of 200,000, okay, and you were a driver or you were a level 6 or level 7 officer, if fuel was selling, for 1,000 naira or 1,200, you are able to plan your day to spend 1,000 naira on fuel, meaning that you can spend 30,000 naira, in a month to be able to move your vehicle from place 1. This is where this component of frugality that I think I saw somebody talking about comes in. You cannot be frugal when there's nothing to be frugal upon. You cannot tell a man who has no money to be frugal. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So this now brings 2 clear issues now. I don't know if I've unpacked it enough for us to now have a conversation.
Sure.
1, there is a demand, of us being able to also consider living wages. 2, there's also this demand of public infrastructure, public transportation that should be able to support people not to even remember that they don't have cars.
Don't you think in the mix of all this and the background you have provided, there is a need for adequate sensitization, enlightenment, like you did, alluded to. In other climes, probably they pay higher than what we pay, but probably the citizens should be carried along. If I need to pay extra additional costs, make adjustments on my daily spendings, I think the sensitization needs to be, up just
Well,
a little bit.
it's not as much as sensitization as it as much as, being able to, increase on those things that can make you productive.
Okay.
It's all about productivity. Okay, like I said, it's all about living wages. As long as, you're paying the right wages, people want to earn money. If you are producing or providing jobs that can make people earn money, people would willingly want to pay tax. People will willingly want to meet their needs. So it is all about those basic needs. I mean, like I keep saying to you, if you go home now and call all your family together and start sensitizing them from morning till night, and at the end of your meeting, you say, go to bed hungry, your sensation is going to be falling, on hard rock. Okay? But if you said, you know what, now every Sunday everybody used to eat 1 egg. But you know what's happening? We will need to now start sharing egg in half for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months because we need to pay school fees, because we need to do this. Then you are building on something. You don't build, you don't add nothing on nothing. You don't build something on nothing. So there has to be this basis. And the point I'm trying to make is that, yes, but it's also the time for everybody to begin to now look inwards. This very popular phrase that was made, popular in America. Do not ask for what America can do for you. Ask for what you can do for America. Now, do not ask for me. All of us are in this thing. Coming here from where I'm coming from hasn't cost me anything, less than 15,000 naira fuel and going back. But sometimes you try to attend these things and then be able to plan, your trips better. Maybe I'll cancel 1 or 2 other appointments so I can be able to manage my fuel. But I'm able to do that because at least the little I have can even make me buy the fuel. So that little is the basis of whatever sensitization you're going to be carried out or carrying citizens along if this is going to make sense.
Okay, if I begin to ask you, on the specifics now, yes, you did mention, the realities, adjustments. We have inflation to face. What can we do as an economist in practical terms now that we'll begin to see, yes, we're feeling the impact of the reduction in cost of prices in the market to probably serve as one of the ways to cushion the effects?
Well, if we had inflation, I would have been lucky. Unfortunately, what we have is stagflation.
Okay.
Or hyperinflation.
You break it down.
Okay.
What does that
I'm
mean?
coming there. Inflation has to do with productivity.
Okay.
When you have too many goods in circulation and then you don't have money, and that is why you now try to lower your currency. You devalue your currency so that you can be able to sell. Now, but what you have is a situation where everybody seems to be depending on government. Our productivity levels, for 3 broad reasons, are not so good. One will be climate change. And when you hear about climate change, it has a lot of consequences. The farmer-herder clash is a direct consequence, of climate change. People are on forced migration, from the Sahel. They're not able to go back. You don't now have this, season of coming and going back. Now, that's one. 2, you now have cross-cutting issues that has now come out of this climate change crisis. Banditry has come, insurrections have come, everything. And again, it is not peculiar to Nigeria. This is what is important. The globe is in a lot of trouble, okay, created by supply disruptions, global supply disruptions, created by the Russian-Ukrainian war, and Russia is a major, route for bringing in supplies. Now you have Israel fighting at all fronts with Gaza, with Iran. So that Suez Canal, which is a major trading route, seems to be under, some kind of problems. You also now have COVID-19 that brought a lot of crisis to the global economy. So my point is that Nigerians who are listening, it's important that everybody begins to now speak to himself and then give himself hope. Okay, do not wait for somebody who can give you what the person does not have. And that's what I'm saying to you. If you have children and you go home now and you start preaching from morning to night and there's nothing to give them, you haven't done so much.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Emeka Okengo, a development economist, for coming to share your knowledge with us on the program Saturday Discuss. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Very sincerely.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, there will be more stories after this time out. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Now, FCT Police Command Friday morning foiled an attempted kidnapping of a school principal in Abuja. Commissioner of Police, FCT Command Olatunji Disu, while briefing newsmen, says one of the suspects is in their custody. Tessiomeri reports.
The FCT Police Command says it received a distress call from a witness of the attack by a kidnap syndicate at an estate early Friday morning in Abuja. The Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, explains that in a situation that looked like a planned operation, the syndicate waited for their victim to leave for work before the attack.
The officers around were alerted and they were directed to start immediately searched on all the roads. Their vehicle was identified, but on sighting the policemen, they started firing and they ran into a nearby swamp. Unfortunately, they shot an Okada rider, which we have taken to the hospital. The police officers, who are very brave, followed them into the swamp, and luckily one of them was arrested, others escaped. And then we recovered from them an AK-47 rifle with 20 live ammunition and a Beretta pistol with 12 rounds of ammunition.
CP Disu appreciates the informant and also calls on the public to always report any suspicious movement or gatherings.
In it. We are making frantic effort to arrest others who have escaped. It is important to note that we want to thank those who saw the incident and quickly called the police. This borders on the importance of seeing something and immediately reporting it.
Assuring that his men, mounted at strategic places, are always ready to protect lives and property of FCT residents. In Abuja, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
All right, Sports Brief is next.
The 2024 ITTF African Championship, held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, witnessed Nigeria's table tennis team secure their second gold medal. Adejoke Muiz and Abdul Basit defeated favourites Olajide Omotayo and Matthew Kuti in an all-Nigerian final. The victory solidifies Nigeria's dominance in African table tennis and showcases the country's talent in the sport. Nigeria's Gift Orban has been dropped from Olympic Lyon's first-team squad due to misconduct. Orban refused to train with teammates who didn't play regularly or feature in Lyon's UEFA Europa League match. This decision may impact Orban's future with the team and affect his national team call-ups. Lastly, Gombe United appointed Anna Musa as their new general manager ahead of the 2024-2025 season. Musa takes over after the team's relegation last session under Abubakar. Gombe United will compete in the Northern Conference Group C. Musa's appointment aims to revitalize the team and secure promotion back to the top division. With Sports Brief, Wayne Dogo, NTA News.
Thank you, Wayne. And before we go, Arsenal are currently 2 goals down against FC Bournemouth. The game is almost done. Well, on that note, we end Saturday Discuss until we come your way, same time, same station next week with another topic. I am Abdullah Hajia. Good evening.